He scored some points at Washington as well. They don't count in his Gonzaga total, but this young man has the complete package, and he will play at the next level and be a first-round draft pick.
Lewis punched it out of bounds. Oh! They may have missed one there. It appeared to went off Lewis's left hand, but the Waves will keep it. Paul Westphal, Gib Arnold, Jim Nielsen, White King Jones, the coaching staff for the Waves
pass
this year. Brazel, boy, he missed an easy shot there.
What a great read by Lewis. He just threw it right past the ear of Zach Gord.
Dave Libby making the call. Fouls on Reason, his first.
Jimmy Miggins is a terrific mid-range basketball player. He's the leading scorer and rebounder for this Pepperdine team, and he is hobbling a little bit. He sprained his ankle very late in the game against Portland.
Yeah, he put up some good numbers in that Portland game. 20 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists before he got the ankle.
And he plays best in big games. I mean, he had 20 against UCLA, 17 against SC. Another one of these versatile players that Paul Westphal can put out on the floor.
And now full court pressure by the Waves. 27-20. Violet. Dick out for three. Again? Not this time. Reason. And Reason knocks it out of bounds. So Dan Dickow with a couple of three-pointers. He now has 8 points.
Gonzaga going back with the zone. Trapping the ball, get it out of Montgomery's hands.
Anthony Reason, he's in there for just that reason. He's a defender, a scrapper. He's a senior now playing his final home game here at the Kennel.
He's really athletic. Gets out and runs and always looking to put the ball on the floor and attack the basket.
Gonzaga now in the 2-3. Stripped. Dickow will run. Bulldogs by 7. Ooh, a touch foul. They'll call that on Montgomery.
And a heck of a move by Dan Dickow.
So Dickow will shoot 1 plus the bonus. Remember, Pepperdine wailed Gonzaga on the boards in the first meeting. Tonight, Gonzaga off to a great start, 16-7.
And the majority of that difference in rebounding was on Pepperdine's offensive glass. The Waves grabbed 24 offensive rebounds against Gonzaga's 8 in the first meeting in January.
9 for Dickow. Career high is 39. He's had that twice. So Dickow now with 10. He leads all scorers. Jimmy Miggins, they've got to get him off. He's only got 2 so far here in the first half.
2-2-1 pressure going back into the zone.
And Reason, boy, he is amped up. Great anticipation. 7:51 to play. The crowd is up here at the Kennel. Gonzaga by 9. Week presented by AT&T. Long distance continuing up here in Spokane, Washington. Gonzaga by 9. And of course, the man who started it all for Gonzaga, John Stockton, back in the early 80s. He could do just a little of everything. One of the great players in Gonzaga history, maybe the greatest. You see some of the career numbers, of course, in the NBA, far surpassing his collegiate career. NBA all-time leader in assists and steals, and a mentor to Dan Dickow. In fact, Stockton wore number 12 here. They haven't retired it. Dickow wanted number 12. They wouldn't give it to him, so he wears 21, 12 backwards. Well, I guess that's honoring John Stockton.
Well, if they haven't retired Stocktons, I don't know what the standard is.
Well, he said they're going to get around to it very, very soon. Talking to Oliver Pierce, the sports information director here at Gonzaga. Pepperdine has been behind the whole night. Shot clock violation.
Well, you don't see that very often from Pepperdine. Miggins tried to back down his defender, which he is very good at, and the ball was reversed, which you want, but when the clock's winding down, you got to have better presence of mind and get a shot up.
Both teams with 6 turnovers. Gonzaga led early, 11-0. Backdoor pass is too high. And Pepperdine can cut into this 9-point lead. Nice steal step. Step with Lewis. And he missed it. Lewis rode him just hard enough not to attract the foul, but to make Step miss the shot. From the corner, Terrence Johnson coming up short. And we got a pushing foul underneath.
It's on Gord. And Kimball did a terrific job of watching the flight of the ball to get himself in position on the far side, where oftentimes corner shots come off. Or did they call that on Boomer Brazel? They did. They called it on Brazel. Kimball had inside position.
Yeah, it's on Brazel, his first. So we go the other way and shoot 1+1.
Well, Kimball and Brazel had Gord sandwiched in there, and Kimball wound up with it. So not a good foul by Boomer Brazel. You can see the shot from the corner by Johnson, and those shots, whether they're short or long, oftentimes come off on the long side or the far corner.
Gord, not that time. Gord's free throwing, not good here in the first half. Zach Gord, 2 of 5. The lead remains 9 for Gonzaga. The Zags now 8 in both major polls.
Great move by Miggins.
And he dishes to Brazel, and that cuts the lead to 7.
Double team came from the high side, and he turned away to the baseline and was able to find Brazel underneath. That's a big-time move.
Gord inside. And Paul Westphal, they did not register the last basket. Paul Westphal is talking to Frank Carbone. They did not put the last 2 up for Pepperdine. Pepperdine's missing 2. It should be 31-22.
Well, I think what he was arguing about there, though, he thought there was offensive goaltending by Violette.
The Waves have got their 22 now. Miggins. And jammed in by Kimball. No bucket. So Miggins shooting in tough luck.
Jimmy Miggins has had a hard time getting going in this game. He's found a lot of defensive attention when he puts the ball on the floor. Gonzaga has run an extra defender at him, and they've paid a lot of mind to where he is every time he gets the ball.
Miggins without a basket. He's got 2 free throws now. Pepperdine settling back into 2-3. 31-22. Gonzaga ahead. Just under 6 minutes to play until halftime.
Ball going into the post way too easily. Great steal by Colbert.
Colbert. Lay it up and in, and a foul. Wow, Colbert exploding to the goal. He's the backup point guard, a junior from Etiwanda, California. You know, Westphal says of him, he can be wild. He can be spectacular for both teams.
Well, he's a good setup guy and an active defender, as you could see by that steal. And Blake Stepp trying to go in for the block just ticked him as he went up. As you take a look at Paul Westphal, one of the finest college basketball players you'll ever see, a 2-time All-America at Southern Cal. An awfully long NBA career.
Gonzaga with 10 turnovers. And Colbert hits the free throw. Colbert is 75%. Both teams pretty good from the free throw line in these days. Pepperdine 72.5. Gonzaga 73.5. Now Bankhead comes back for Stepp.
1-2-1-1. You got to watch the quick trap. Make yourself available as a receiver.
31-25 is our score. Bankhead's a good outside shooter.
Got to have his feet set, though. You need to make him put it on the floor.
Get down. He is automatic when he gets his feet set.
Well, just a great catch-and-shoot player. He can also shoot off the dribble. But he's really tightened up his stroke. I used to watch him play at the University of Washington. He was nowhere near the shooter he is now. He has really developed his game.
All-America candidate Dan Dickau has 13 here in the first half. 3 of 5 from three-point range. Zach Gord. Rebound. Zach averaging about 7 caroms a game. The Bulldogs lead back up to 9. Dickau, a heat check. And he's fouled.
Well, we just talked about his ability to hit it off the bounce. You can see in the corner, Bankhead, the nice pass, and look how he gets his feet set coming off the low screen on the baseline. And this time, the little crossover and the pull-up and gets put down. Almost made it for a potential 4-point play, but Dickow going to go to the line for 3 free throws.
The 2 top teams in the West Coast Conference. Pepperdine undefeated in conference play at 11-0. Gonzaga 10-1. Their only loss to Pepperdine at Malibu's Firestone Fieldhouse.
Dickow's got the whole look going. He's got the hair working, the GQ look, the fiance who's the dancer for the Portland Trailblazers. He had Sports Illustrated out here this week taking pictures of him all over campus. He's a big-time cover boy, and he can really play.
Going to be married in August, we're told. He makes 2 of the 3. Gonzaga's lead balloons back up to 11. Gonzaga's led all the way here in the first half.
Gonzaga's been really active in this 2-3 zone.
Yeah, and they're paying special attention, as you mentioned, to Jimmy Miggins. And off the hands, Colbert, that pass a little bit too hot.
So he tried to make it happen with the little spin dribble, and then kicking it back out after the pivot.
8th Pepperdine turnover. Gonzaga's record 23-3. Their losses to number 2 Illinois at the time, Marquette and Pepperdine.
Pepperdine going back to man, trying to give a little different look. High screen coming.
Dickow lost the handle.
Got to give it to Violet. He's open in there.
Reason cast off. That's a bad shot for him.
Well, Violet was open, had his man on his hip. You got to give it in. If it's not there, you can kick it back out for an open shot.
4 minutes to go in the half. Bulldogs by 9. Casting off is Johnson. Terrence Johnson, a 35% shooter from 3. Hasn't been much of a factor so far here in the first half. Dickow out of control, lost it. Waves coming back the other way. Brassel fumbled the ball. Give him an assist, Jay Billis.
Gonzaga's transition defense in a hole at the start. Dickow was on his backside, as was Violet, who tripped over the pile. Awfully difficult to stop a fast break when you only got 3 guys back.
Miggins, his 4th point. Reason thought about it, and then he sets it into Corey Violet. This kid is a budding star. He's like a Jeff Ruhlin type of a player. Big, strong body. He's got some light feet, moves around pretty well.
And he is really improving. He can just pick you up and move you out of the way, and an outstanding rebounder with great hands.
Miggins still cold from the perimeter.
And it's been 1 and out for Pepperdine all night long.
Dickow.
Look at that.
Reason for 3. Hits.
That's a big-time play. Getting the ball in the lane. Dickow with a great move and collapsing that defense to kick it out to an open shooter.
The lead up to 14. Johnson. Terrence Johnson. Played behind Brandon Armstrong, or at least would have last year. Armstrong, a first-round draft choice, so they redshirted Johnson. He's turned out to be a good one. Got a timeout on the floor. 2:32 to go. Bulldogs 41, Waves 29, and Dan Dickow is doing it at both ends. Fighting for positioning, seeding, Big East tournament, Iowa State and Kansas, New Mexico, and Utah. That's at midnight in the Mountain West. Chris Marlowe and Jay Billis with you from the Kennel. Aptly named because the Bulldogs are housed here, and we've got a capacity crowd just over 4,000 they can stuff into this building. They're all here tonight for the game of the year in the West Coast Conference.
And a great atmosphere for college basketball.
Absolutely, and it's been a game that's been dominated by the Waves. They have their biggest lead right now of 12.
Back to man for Pepperdine. Violet can hit that shot.
That's his 9th three-pointer this year. He's got 7.
He's the reigning West Coast Conference Player of the Week after those 2 15-rebound games. And that young man is getting better and better. I think you may be looking at a future West Coast Conference Player of the Year in Corey Violet.
Well, he replaced one in Casey Calvary. They said, how would you replace Calvary? Who's going to do it? Corey Violet has stepped up.
I think Violet is ahead now of where Calvary was at the same age.
Don't forget, stay tuned for the Jackson Hewitt halftime report from the College Hoops studio. Pac-10 upsets. How about Oregon and a shocker in the Southeastern Conference?
Well, the Oregon bragging rights thus far in the season have gone to Ernie Kent's Oregon Ducks. That team gets the ball up and down the floor faster than any team I have seen.
Yeah, he's done a heck of a job up there.
A marvelous job.
Will Kimball, his playing time diminishing because Cedric Suet had not been getting in foul trouble. But Suet getting in early foul trouble here, so Kimball getting some minutes.
Big and strong, very good offensive rebounder. You always have to keep him off the offensive glass.
Kimball with 3. Pepperdine trying to cut into this lead before halftime. Dick out. Clever with the basketball.
Won't let himself be trapped. Good pass.
Tagged by 14, Ford. Nice rebound. Reason. Bankhead, no. Boy, the Zags are fighting for it in there. Taken by Reason. No, check that. That was Hernandez.
I'll tell you, Chris, those are the kind of plays that win you championships. Gonzaga is just quicker to the ball. They're pursuing it with more vigor than Pepperdine, and that's why they are winning this game.
Gonzaga has opened up a 16-point lead here in the first half. Pepperdine's got to be careful now. Gord.
What a move.
And he can't finish. Hernandez again. I'll tell you what, no one's blocking out the shorter Alex Hernandez. He's only 6'4", but he is making it pay off.
Zach Gord, a skilled big guy inside. Little drop step move, and thought he was going to take it all the way, but didn't. And Gonzaga is just pursuing the ball with more heart than Pepperdine. That's really been the difference. This team is really going after it. They talked about it all week long. They really were embarrassed at being beaten so badly on the boards at Pepperdine on January 18th when they were out-rebounded by 14 and just dominated on the offensive glass. And it has been a complete and total turnaround on the boards in this game.
Of course, Gonzaga, one of only 3 schools to make it to the Sweet 16 the last 3 years. Duke and Michigan State, the other 2. This is a program that continues to grow. I would say one of the most admired teams in America, along with Duke. You don't see many players, many other teams, many followings that dislike Gonzaga. There's kind of a good feeling when you talk about them. Of course, Duke, you go to North Carolina, NC State, Maryland, you get some Duke haters there. But this Gonzaga team, ever since the Elite 8 run in 1998.
I'll tell you who hates this team is opposing coaches who watch them on film and know they've got them coming up, because they're very difficult to guard. They run 50 or 60 different set plays at any given time.
The biggest Gonzaga lead, 18. It's been an amazing performance for the Zags so far. They have come out with a purpose. They say that revenge is the most powerful motivator known to man. The Zags have it tonight after losing that first one. And it's a very discouraged Pepperdine coaching staff at the moment.
There's a long way to go in this game. Colbert with a nice drive got fouled by Zach Gord, and the free throw disparity, not just the fact that Pepperdine has not hit their free throws at the same rate as has Gonzaga, but Pepperdine has put Gonzaga at the line way too much. And part of that is the amount of offensive rebounds that Gonzaga has grabbed, and the fact that Gonzaga's been just more aggressive.
Colbert has 4. Johnson and Lewis have 5. No Pepperdine players scored more than 5. So Gonzaga has defended well.
And Pepperdine has not. Anytime you allow a team to put up 48 points in the first half, and there may be more coming, you have not done a good job defensively.
35 seconds to play. Wide open. Reason with the jam. 50 first half points for Gonzaga. And over the back.
And that's a foul that Mark Few can live with. Anthony Reason going over the back, trying to tip the ball away to a teammate. On that last possession, wide open on the back cut. Anthony Reason takes the pass and there was no pressure on the passer when that pass was delivered. Alex Hernandez could take his sweet time and survey the situation.
Miggins with 5. That's one thing Pepperdine will address in the locker room. How to get some more looks for Jimmy Miggins, their top scorer and rebounder.
Well, they're first going to address wanting the ball. And this isn't an X and O halftime speech by Paul Westphal. It's a speech of how much do you really want that ball because you're getting beaten to it and out tough.
With 10 seconds to go, Gonzaga working for the last shot. Will Dickow take it? Off a foot. Reason. Tip! No basket. Over the back.
Now Pepperdine going to get a little bit of perhaps momentum because they're going to get a couple of free throws before they go in.
I think that was Jermaine Forbes going over the top. And I think Mike Westphal is going to shoot a couple of free throws.
There you can see the over the back by Forbes. Not a smart play as that clock was winding down. It was a terrific tip in, but you had to go over the back to get it.
So Robert Turner, 6'9" freshman from Buena Park, California, a kid with a bright future. That's been the story for Pepperdine here in the first half.
Another terrific athlete that Paul Westphal can bring in off the bench. And we were watching him drain threes, the lefty, all day today at the shoot-around.
That's the end of the first half. Gonzaga leads it 50-35. Let's go back to the College Hoops Tonight studio. Jackson Hewitt, halftime report. John Buccigross, take it away.
AT&T is brought to you by SportsCenter. Which SportsCenter do you watch? And by Mazda, who invites you to discover the sheer joy of motion.
St. Al's Cathedral outside on the campus of Gonzaga University. The Zags with a big halftime lead, up 50-35. Hi again, everybody. Along with Jay Villas, I'm Chris Marlowe. Mark Few, the Gonzaga coach this week, said we need a big effort to compete with Pepperdine. He got it especially from his 3 senior starters.
He really did. You know the old cliche, they came ready to play? Yeah. Well, that doesn't really apply tonight for Pepperdine, because in a game like this, which is for a championship, you've got to come not ready to play, but ready to fight. Gonzaga came ready to fight, Pepperdine didn't, and that's the reason we've got a 15-point margin at halftime. Gonzaga dominated the glass in the first half, out-rebounding Pepperdine by 12, and they did a great job of shutting down the 2 stars for Pepperdine. Jimmy Miggins and Terrence Johnson, both those guys combined for just 3 of 11 from the field, and Dan Dickow was magnificent in the first half for Gonzaga. Dickow had 15 points. He was great from the 3-point line. He hit 3 of 5. He spotted up well. Blake Stepp found him in transition, and he just, I thought, really came out and put his signature on this game in the first half.
The Miller High Life storyline really showed that not only did Pepperdine hold the Waves to a lesser shooting percentage, but they just didn't give them a lot of shots.
That's right. Miggins and Johnson only got 11 shots in that first half. A lot of those shots were challenged. They didn't come out of any really coherent offense, and you know, this Pepperdine team can really break you down off the dribble, but Gonzaga has done a really nice job of getting to all those ball handlers, and their rotations have been very good.
Still, the lead is just 15. See how the second half unfolds. Gord. And Gord. There's Montgomery going to the rack. Gord thought he had it tied up, and it's out of bounds.
Gord got leather on that one, but that could have easily been his 3rd foul. It was pretty fortunate. He's backing up while Montgomery was attacking off the dribble. First 5 minutes of this second half are going to tell us really all we need to know as to whether Pepperdine's going to get back in this thing.
Montgomery for 3. And Gord comes up with a rebound.
Boy, a lot of white shirts around that ball every time it comes off the glass.
Stepp out to Gord. Can he hit that shot? In and out. Stepp had the rebound, and Pepperdine will run. The Waves need a good start here in the second half.
Pepperdine really just jogging up court on that possession.
Just don't look like they're playing with a purpose. Not that frantic energy that we saw from Gonzaga here in the first half.
Well, in their defense, they're playing in a really tough environment. They are really banged up. They've got a couple guys that are sick. But nobody asks you that when you step on the court. You've got to suit up and play.
Cedric Stewart, and the shot blocked, but a foul on Zach Gord. That's going to be 3 on Gord. Gonzaga shooting 50%. 6 of 10 from 3. 26 rebounds.
Well, that's really the staggering number in this ball game. The amount of rebounds that Gonzaga has been able to grab, and it's not just on the offensive end. They did a good job on the offensive glass, but they limited Pepperdine to 1 shot, and a challenged one at that.
Cedric Stewart got 2 quick fouls in the first half. It was not a factor. He's a senior now from Atlanta, Georgia. Blocked 10 shots in an earlier game this year against the San Diego Toreros.
Little discussion right now at the scorer's table, and Dave Libby going over to Paul Westphal to explain the situation.
Dave Libby, Freddie Carbone, Vern Haskin.
Looks like there's something with the scorer's book, because you can see the Pepperdine bench is saying, hey, I told them. And that could be someone who has played in this game that was not properly entered into the scorer's book. And that will not be a pleasant situation if a technical foul is called for that reason.
So one official talking to Mark Few, the other one explaining it to Paul Westphal, and Westphal is really energized here. Not only is his team getting thumped, but he is into it now.
And Westphal very upset. He just banged the scorer's table in discussion with one of the officials, and there is clearly an error in the scorer's book, and it's a question of whose error it was and who it will count against. Not a whole lot of discussion that needs to be had here. The officials need to take charge of this.
Yeah, and it's obviously some kind of a mistake.
Well, and of course the conspiracy theory starts to abound when you're down in a ball game 15 points at halftime.
And now Westphal getting into it with Mark Few a little bit here.
Dave Libby needs to take control of this. It's an easy call to make the call.
See if we get some kind of explanation from Dave Libby. He's going to talk it over with his group.
They've called a technical foul. Someone was not entered properly in the scorer's book. We don't know who it is.
And Westphal is saying, no, no, no. That's not right. He's shaking his head saying no.
Well, his argument has got to be that it was a mistake made by the scorer, not by his team, and he shouldn't be penalized for it.
All technicals this year, 2 shots.
Okay, this was administered in a very interesting fashion by the officials.
Yeah, this isn't over yet. Let's see what that does.
They're explaining it to the players as if the players need an explanation. They needed to call this quickly and get it done. And that was a 5-minute ordeal for really a simple administration of 2 free throws.
So Cedric Stewart still standing at the free throw line. Dave Libby, the crew chief, says, let's play ball. Stewart is a very bad free thrower at 44%. Now Zach Gord is going to go out of the game. He's got 3 fouls, and Ronny Turioff comes back. Stewart hasn't scored tonight. There's Turioff.
When Turioff comes in the ball game, they gain some bounce and some athleticism. But Turioff's still learning the game.
And he's got his first rebound in the second half. 52-35, Gonzaga. He's got some nice post moves.
He really does. He's improved tremendously down on the low block. You get him the ball with a man on his hip, and he can make a coherent post move and either score or get fouled.
Violet has 9. Bulldogs have their biggest lead of the game, 19. McGowan blows by Turioff. And we've got a foul on Violet.
Violet just leaned in a bit. See Violet getting the ball and just a nice little turnaround jumper along the baseline. So this kid, I think, is going to be a great player. He's already a really good one, just a sophomore. He is a big-time rebounder, clears out space, goes after the ball, and he's got a mean streak in him, which I think is a terrific thing. I mean that in a good way. I mean, this kid, when he steps on the floor, he's got a look about him that he is not going to take any guff from anyone. And if there's any physicality going to happen between he and the opponent, he's going to dish it out first.
McGowan has 6. He had 19 in the earlier meeting. 54-37 now. Pepperdine's nation's longest 13-game win streak in serious jeopardy here in the second half. Gonzaga's led all the way. Played one of their better games of the year. Violet fumbled it. They got a scrum going on the alternating possession. It will go to Pepperdine.
This building, the Kennel, is a great home court advantage for Gonzaga. You walk in here, there's a sea of red. It is loud.
Kids were camped out yesterday.
Then the building seems like it's been shrinking. I mean, the fans are right on top of you.
Yeah, and it's hot too. McGowan hits. Glenn McGowan.
And McGowan's been just about all that Pepperdine's been able to get going offensively.
Yeah, he's the leading scorer with 9. Miggins has 6. Been a very low-scoring game for the Waves. Pretty good defense by Montgomery to tip that one away. Montgomery shadowing Dickow now.
Pepperdine in man-to-man. They can't afford to stay in the zone.
Lead is 14. Turioff. Nice move. Did he travel? Yes, he did.
Well, he turned the wrong way initially. When he got the ball, the play was a drop step to the baseline and a dunk. But he turned back into the middle, and he turned right into the defense. See, when he caught it, he had the man on his left hip, and he should have taken that drop step, one dribble, and he would have had a jam.
Gonzaga once again back in the matchup. Outside shot challenge. Here comes Step. Reason. Nice pass.
And what a great pass by Step. Took it away from Violet. Some deception in that young man.
You know, they say that Step creates a faster tempo when he's at the point, when he's leading the break than Dickow does.
I think it's true. He was a quarterback in high school and a terrific. Oh, look at that.
And McGowan with Violet on his back. So the game heating up now. 56-42.
Turioff almost took that out of his hands, but McGowan was strong enough to power that in. Well, you're talking about 2 great plays back-to-back. Look at this open court play. Step takes it away, the little look-away pass toward Reason and away from Violet, and Violet caught it in great rhythm. Look at Turioff almost taking it out of the hands of McGowan, and McGowan with the strength to go up and finish that play. That was big time.
Sewick got his 3rd foul. Violet is an excellent free thrower despite that miss at 77%. We mentioned that he had replaced Casey Calvary in the lineup. Calvary playing in Tokyo, Japan now. Overseas, as a number of players are, and having a good year, I hear. (57-42). Lead back up to 15. Dickow has 17. Violet now with 12.
Pepperdine really needs to make something happen in the first 5 minutes of this second half, and thus far, every score has been answered by Gonzaga.
Brazel. Pepperdine just not shooting well. They're missing a lot of 10-footers, 15-footers.
Well, I'll tell you, Chris, it puts a lot of pressure on your shooting when you know you're only going to get 1 shot, and that's all they've got.
Violet. And he plows over McGowan. Now, check that. That was Will Kimball.
Violet just put his head down in his shoulder, and Kimball, see, moving his feet. It looked like he was moving there, but a courageous play to step in front of a Mack truck.
Zach Gord back in. Gord has 3 fouls. Violet has 3 fouls. And I believe Turioff, yes. Now, unofficially, all 3 of the big men for Gonzaga have 3, so they have to be a little bit careful now.
Well, you still want to play with aggressiveness.
And the steal by Reason. And it goes back to Pepperdine. Wow. Anthony Reason. I think some of our notes just took a break, and it is getting wild now. Look out. Montgomery piles into Turioff. Wow. .43 to go. Things heating up. Still, the Bulldogs lead by 15.
ESPN and ESPN2, home of the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Well, thanks for asking. I'm doing fine. Just got in today. My brother-in-law picked me up at the airport. Mighty big airport y'all got here. And the people here are so nice. You want a beer? I want a bud. How you doing? 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 I'm doing fine. I just got here today. My brother-in-law picked me up at the airport, and the people sure are nice. Nice people. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I'm doing fine. I just got here. My brother-in-law came and picked me up from the airport. It's a mighty big airport.
Tina? Hi, you must be Todd.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to keep the mileage down on this car, so I drive it backwards 4 days a week.
Okay.
Need a motor oil for a high-mileage car? We developed one. Pennzoil high-mileage vehicle reduces oil consumption and restores the performance of older engines.
Can you find the sports car in the newest Mazda?
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Ha. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The new 200 horsepower Mazda MPV. Body of a minivan. Soul of a sports car.
15:43 to go in the game. Gonzaga leading Pepperdine 57-42. It's Judgment Week presented by AT&T Long Distance, and we're in the West Coast Conference. Dan Dickau. What does Mark Few think of Dickau? What does Dickau think of Few? Here it is.
I'm one of the biggest fans of Jason Williams for what he did last year and what he did for college basketball by coming back and the kind of year he's having. And I understand how important he is to Duke, but I'm telling you, Dan Dickau does everything for us. And his numbers and his statistics will back up what I think is having as good a year as any player in college basketball, period.
17 points here in the first half. How would you compare Dickau with some of the other point guards you've seen this year?
Well, he compares favorably. I think he's clearly one of the top 5 point guards in America, and I cannot think of a senior that not only is a better player, but has had a better season than Dan Dickau.
Jason Williams, the only one clearly better at this point?
I would think so.
Okay.
I think Jason Williams, more athletic, more explosive. He is not a better shooter. I mean, Dan Dickau hits an incredible percentage from 3. And while we were away at break, we got an explanation from Dave Libby as to what the controversy was at the start of the second half, just before Cedric Suet was to take his 2 free throws. And you are obliged to provide your starting 5 for the second half to the scorer. And the starting 5 that was reported by Pepperdine was not the starting 5 that went out onto the floor. And the referees had no other choice but to call a technical foul. That's what the controversy was about. Pepperdine, of course, saying to the officiating crew that the scorer was in error, that they reported the right starting 5, but the scorer took it down wrong.
Well, Pepperdine penalized a couple of foul shots by Dickau. So Ronny Turioff has committed his 4th foul. You can see the athletic ability, but he's just not a polished player right now. Fouls too much, reaches too much, and can't quite finish. And
well, he's getting there. I mean, he's a really good player. And he played for the French national team, played with Tony Parker, who is a rookie now and in good shape to go after the Rookie of the Year award in the NBA.
San Antonio Spurs. Lewis casts off. He comes up way short. McGowan for 3. And Glenn McGowan looking very good. Smooth. He's got 14 and the lead cut to 12.
Well, this is still a ball game. Even as difficult a time as Pepperdine has had offensively, they are still in this.
Hernandez and Lewis caught him. Let's see if they call that a shooting foul. Hernandez just about ready to take off. Now he's going up, says Dave Libby. So Hernandez will shoot a couple. Third foul on Lewis. Sometimes a little controversy like that, you get your coach fuming, that can fire up your team.
Well, something needed to stoke the flames inside of this Pepperdine team, because Gonzaga clearly came a little bit more prepared to fight in this ballgame. And that is not like Pepperdine. They have had, I think, a fantastic season. And I don't think there's much argument after having watched these two teams play during the season that they are both NCAA tournament teams. That if one or the other were to win the West Coast Conference tournament title and the automatic bid, that the other, without much discussion, should be an at-large team invited to the tournament.
West Coast Conference tournament is going to be held in San Diego, California, March 1st through the 4th. We'll have that final for you on ESPN. Should be a great tournament. Could see these two teams again. Suet and Dickow rebounds. Suet not much of an offensive threat. 59-45. Gord.
Boy, that is a terrific pass by Dan Dickow. Good catch and finish. I think Gord wanted to finish with a little more authority than that, but he'll take the squeaker.
Yeah, Gord he's not a pretty player. Not a pretty player, but very, very effective.
Very effective. Got terrific hands and good footwork.
McGowan pushed off. And here comes Dickow. Ahead is Hernandez.
What a pass.
And Suet has his 4th foul.
Tell you what, you better pick up Dan Dickow in transition, not just because he can score it, but he really finds people. You got to take away his vision or he'll cut you up.
Suet, his 4th foul. West Coast Conference dominated by two outstanding teams, Pepperdine and Gonzaga. San Francisco, Santa Clara, San Diego in the next group. Good teams.
Very good teams and well-drilled teams, teams that box out. Awfully difficult to rebound in this conference because everybody well-schooled and well-coached. But I'll tell you, you take Pepperdine and Gonzaga out of this conference and put them in any of the major conferences, and they are going to compete favorably.
63-45. Hernandez in his final game at home as a senior, having a good night. He's got 12. The lead back up to 18. So a momentary burst by Pepperdine cut the lead to 12, but Gonzaga playing with a lot of energy.
As much as you would not like to see Gonzaga and Mark Few's almost diabolical offensive sets in the first round of the NCAA tournament, equally you wouldn't want to see this Pepperdine team because they can really break you down off the dribble. They can break out of their patterns and just play. And it is so hard to guard this team because they've all got one-on-one ability. They're very versatile. They're very balanced. And their dribble penetration, and their ability to kick it out to shooters can really hurt defense.
Montgomery, he's an 81%er. Pepperdine got off to a bad start, trailing 11-0, and they've never been able to catch up. Gonzaga's had the energy. They've played like the 8th-ranked team in America. Dickow. And Dickow draws the foul on Montgomery. Dickow so clever with the ball. He's not extremely fast or terrifically quick, but got that economy of motion that John Stockton has, quite frankly.
Well, he's pretty fast and quick.
Yeah, fast and quick, but not lightning.
And he can, what he does is if he gets a half step on you, he can turn into you, and he created that contact and really created that foul.
4th foul on Montgomery, excuse me.
And he's a very smart player. He reads screens very well.
Yeah.
He's got great vision of the court, and he's a really good passer.
Gord, nice move. A little bit far away, wanted the dunk, couldn't get it. 63-45, Zags.
Well, you can tell that these big guys for Gonzaga have been worked with a lot by Leon Rice, Bill Greer, their outstanding coaching staff.
ESPN, USA Today top 10. Duke continues on top. Most people think Duke and Kansas, the two best teams. Duke will get the test tomorrow. Maryland, Oklahoma at number 4.
And Cincinnati, the best, I think, defensive team in America.
Blake Stepp Got a step. And the lead is 20.
Bum knee and all. And where was the weak side help for Pepperdine?
Step with 8. Zags have opened up a 20-point lead. Terrence Johnson rattles in and out. Miggins gets it.
And
nice
Chris,
pursuit.
Chris, that's the first offensive rebound basket that I can think of for Pepperdine in this game. I mean, I know they've had a couple offensive boards and some second chance opportunities, but they have been few and far between. The in and out shot by Johnson from the wing, and Miggins, who is a terrific offensive rebounder, really one of the best offensive rebounders in the West Coast Conference.
Pepperdine being out-rebounded 30-18. In the first meeting, Pepperdine had 24 offensive rebounds. Mark Few has corrected that problem.
Well, that's a problem, really, he corrected over the summer, and that was an anomaly for Gonzaga to be out-rebounded that badly, because they have been a very good rebounding team all season long.
Step from distance. A 3-ball. He's got a great stroke. He doesn't shoot it from 3 as much as you might think. And once again, the lead back up to 20. McGowan. Nice follow by Larry Boomer Brazel. Brazel now with 5. Dickow. Violet. And coming out with it is Colbert. 18-point lead.
Good ball movement.
Johnson for 3.
So that ball's up for grabs, and Gonzaga's getting it.
Dickow. Nice pass. Hernandez got it. Dickow the assist.
Dickow just has the ability, Chris, to get into the lane, and when he does, he finds people.
Hernandez with 14. Crowd going bonkers. The dogs at the kennel getting their chance to bark on national television. As Brazel quiets him for a moment.
And when you watch Dickow play, you remember Matt Santangelo, who played here at Gonzaga. But Santangelo was the guy that penetrated to shoot. And Dickow is more of a player that penetrates to pass.
Dickow.
Unless you give him a free lane to the basket.
That first Elite 8 team, Santangelo, Floyd, Calvary. This team might be better.
They certainly have the potential to be.
10:39 to play in the game. Gonzaga has opened up a 20-point lead on plays like that.
Tell me something good.
When you come to Jackson Hewitt for your taxes, you'll get a super fast refund. In fact, our typical refund is over $400 more than the average IRS refund. Call Jackson Hewitt now, 1-800-234-1040.
Tina? Hi, you want to see Todd?
Ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to keep the mileage down on this car, so I drive it backwards 4 days a week.
Need a motor oil for a high-mileage car? We developed one. Pennzoil high-mileage vehicle reduces oil consumption and restores the performance of older engines.
In and out. Good. Keep the victim calm. 1 and 2 and 3.
Okay, there you go. It's over 130 channels, sports, news, entertainment, even your local channels, and it's only $39.99 a month.
Just $39.99 a month. Over 130 channels of DirecTV programming, even your local ones. Now get a DirecTV system for $49 or less, installed.
So it was the digital music that... Yeah.
Now get the Wall Street Journal delivered for 8 weeks at just 38 cents a day, a 50% savings.
Call 800-454-6500. That's 800-454-6500 for the Wall Street Journal.
Judgment Week presented by AT&T Long Distance. Gonzaga up by 20 on Pepperdine. Big Monday just 2 days away. In the Big East, we start BC St. John's, an important game in the Big East. Then Iowa State gets a crack at Kansas. And New Mexico goes to Utah. Utes tough in Salt Lake. That's all part of Big Monday presented by Bud Light. We're in the kennel. First time they've ever nationally televised a game here at the Kennel, and the fans were ready for us, weren't they, Jay?
They were ready. They were camping out for tickets and good seats to this game, and given all the great teams that Gonzaga has had, it's hard to believe this is their first national broadcast out of this building.
Won't be the last. That's Jay Billis. My name is Chris Marlowe. Pepperdine in the dark uniforms. McGowan has been pretty good. He has been by far the best Pepperdine player. McGowan now with 16. And it's 72-54.
Well, he's been aggressive. Miggins jumping out off that high screen. The roll, Violet down low.
And it's off Violet's. Ten minutes and 8 seconds to play. 8th-ranked Gonzaga cruising against Pepe.
They're the league's rising young guns. Can they handle life in the NBA's fast lane?
I'm not made for this sitting on the bench stuff.
Sidelines, LA Hoops, presented by Gatorade. 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, Sunday. Part of the block on ESPN.
Everybody's playing their own game out there. Don't you kids get it?
Brian Dennehy is Bobby Knight.
Playing my game is what got you here.
A season on the brink. Sunday, March 10, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on ESPN.
Nice is
February, BET celebrates the music that transcends time, people, and space with its series of entertaining jazz performances by Herbie Hancock, John Coltrane, B.B. King, and Charlie Parker. Sit back, relax, and enjoy BET Jazz Sunday Brunch, Sundays at 11:30 a.m., only on BET.
Inside Communications is a proud sponsor of Black History Month.
Jumping out of planes and rolling out of boats. Being a SEAL is something I've always wanted to do ever since I was a kid.
Through the training, you learn to be a lot more driven and focused.
Well, without the Navy, I wouldn't have had money for college.
The Navy has many educational opportunities. I could do anything electrical out in the civilian world.
What you've seen is just part of the story. Call this number now for your free 12-minute video and see how the Navy can jumpstart your life. Check out the jobs, training, and money for college that are waiting for you. Navy, accelerate your life.
Back in Spokane, Washington, Gonzaga with a big lead over Pepperdine. We heard what Mark Few thought of Dan Dickow. What about Dickow on Mark Few?
He just gets really intense, and I think that's a great thing for a coach to have. But he uses his intense drive in a good way, so he's not negative towards us. It's always in a positive manner, in a constructive criticism kind of way, trying to give us, you know, what we should do rather than why are you doing this.
I've watched Mark Few for a long time, and he's one of the brightest young coaches in America. 38 years old. He has been here for over 10 years. He was first an assistant to Dan Fitzgerald and to Dan Munson. And Mark Few has a great offensive mind. Runs multiple option sets, and he develops players. Players get better under this man. He's an outstanding coach.
And he was recently given a new long-term contract, and they're talking about getting a new arena here. And Jay, if you have $10 million, we could call it the Billis Kennel, or the Billis Center.
Don't hold your breath on that one. I'll tell you what, they're going to have a hard time holding on to Mark Few. He loves it here. Avid fly fisherman, lovely wife Marcy and their family very happy here in Spokane.
Yeah, and this is really the mid-major model for every program in America.
Well, it's the model for every program.
70-58, and the Waves have cut the lead to 12. So the Waves have not given up yet. 9:45 to play in the game. Judgment Week presented by AT&T Long Distance. Chris Marlowe with Jay Billis. Jay making an appearance from the East, mysteriously appearing here in the West to check out Gonzaga and Pepperdine.
Well, I'm a West Coaster now.
There you go.
I grew up in Southern California, so West Coast by birth, and they never get it out of you.
So Pepperdine trying to fight back. Gary Colbert at the line. The closest Pepperdine has been in this game since the outset was 6 points. They've cut the lead to 6 a couple of times, but have been able to get no closer.
Well, they're hanging in there.
And Dickow is cut. Dickow is bleeding from the mouth, and so he's going to have to go out of the game.
He'll be attended to by the trainer. And
yeah, he took a shot apparently. And Kyle Bankhead will replace him. So this could be a trouble time for Gonzaga here. Without their leader, lead cut to 11, maybe 10 here. Pepperdine maybe with a shot.
And you know that Mark Few is asking one of the officials the age-old question, when your player is bleeding, well, how come there was no foul call?
Gonzaga by 11, and now Blake Stepp, who the coaches say will play the point next year, most likely, when Dick Howe leaves. We'll see how he handles it. We mentioned played there 9 games last year, and he throws it off the hand of Hernandez. So
Hernandez looking to make a move instead of catching the ball. Just put one hand out to grab it. Possession, the most important thing.
The Pepperdine Waves have played a terrific schedule. Non-conference, their schedule is rated 4, so they've been in with the big boys. Miggins right under the basket. Can he force it up and in? He does. And here come the Waves. They're banging and scratching. Lead cut to 9. And Miggins says he's pushing off, but Stepp is fouled.
Now you see a little more fight in this Pepperdine team after the score by Miggins, which was a really tough play that he made underneath. They were able to put that press on, trap right away, and Dick Howe has been taken care of. Now he can come back into the ball game and help break that press.
Yeah, you need the leadership.
Now Paul Westphal getting involved. He sees blood. That was terrific.
I tell you, his lip doesn't look all that good. Westy. Paul Westphal.
Paul Westphal, with all his years of medical experience, what a nice guy to offer that up at a key time.
So Stepp, 1+ the bonus. We mentioned Gonzaga, a great free-throwing team at 73%. When you have 2 guards that shoot 88 and 81%, you're going to win a lot of close ball games.
Well, and you keep it in their hands.
Yep. Stepp made 1 of the 2. And swinging the elbows is Jimmy Miggins.
Just trying to clear some space. You get the ball, you want to keep it.
71-61. Just under 9 minutes to go. 3-pointer on the way. And Violet lost it. McGowan traveled. Boy, McGowan is powerful. He lowers the shoulder. Bodies are flying.
Well, he was given a gift by that official. I didn't see the walk beforehand, but if there was no walk, there was definitely a charge.
The lead is 10. Stepp now against Craig Lewis. So Lewis, the 3-point shooter, is in with Colbert, Brazel, Miggins, and McGowan.
The switch on the ball screen. Now Brazel on Dick Howe.
There he goes. Good pass. Lobbing it into Violet.
Are you kidding me? Violet kept that ball over his head the whole time and still got up to dunk it with authority. That's a big-time play.
Violet's got 14. Dick Howe, another assist. Brazel. And he just rooted Cord right out of there.
Well, now we're starting to see Pepperdine really fight and compete for every ball.
8 minutes to play. Gonzaga by 10. And Stepp is held by Lewis.
Gonzaga knows now that if they are strong with the basketball in every possession, that they are going to go to the line and shoot free throws.
4th foul on Lewis. So that hurts Pepperdine, as Lewis is an outstanding outside shooter. Gord goes out. Turioff is back in. And Stepp back to the line. Got a great stroke. That's how you like to teach basketball players.
Well, and you wonder just how good Blake Stepp would be. He's been terrific all season long. He had a great year last year, but if he were healthy, because you know he'd be a lot better. And I can't tell you how much I admire this kid for playing hurt, never complaining.
Yeah, he's been playing hurt with a knee problem all year.
And not even the trainer can get a good read on it because he never complains.
McGowan for 3. Glenn McGowan. Missing the first 12 games. Got in a fight with teammate Will Kimball in the library. Suspended by the school. Since he's come back, though, Pepperdine has not lost. They're in jeopardy tonight. Dick out. Quick trigger. Violet collides with McGowan. And Pepperdine will keep it. 7:19 to go. The Bulldogs by 9. One more look at a great pass and a big finish by Corey Violet.
Is there really a secret method twins use to communicate? Well, yes. It's called speed dial.
Introducing AT&T Unlimited. $19.95 a month for unlimited long-distance calls to any of AT&T's 50 million residential long-distance customers. Make all the calls you want, whenever you want. Plus, it's just 7 cents a minute to anyone else.
It is weird, though. I come home at night, think of something that I want to call her about, and the next thing you know, the phone's ringing.
Call 1-800-REACH-OUT to enroll.
This man may not bowl many strikes, but don't you think he's not still at the top of his game? His scores are not reflected in his average. His scores cannot be measured with hash marks and excess. Even between frames, he keeps his roller going. Here's to you, you old polecat. You keep on living the high life.
ESPN2's presentation of Judgment Week is presented by AT&T Long Distance. Let your long distance be unlimited. And in part by DirecTV, the #1 digital satellite entertainment provider. And by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life.
We're back at the Kennel. Chris Marlowe and Jay Billis. Just over 7 minutes left to play. Gonzaga by 9, we think. We've been told that there is a scoring discrepancy. They may be working on it. We shall see. It's been Gonzaga's game from the outset. They led 11-0, led by 15 at the half, led by as many as 20. Pepperdine cutting into the lead, got it down to 9 at one point. And that's where we are right now, a 9-point lead. Still not insurmountable. Pepperdine playing with a lot more emotion now, Jay.
Well, there's plenty of time left in this game, especially with the three-point shot. There is a long way to go. And Pepperdine playing with a lot more heart in this second half than they did in the first.
Step wide open, came up short. Nice rebound by Turioff. A hustling rebound. Hernandez, you can give him the 3. Violet against McGowan. There, that is a heavyweight matchup between McGowan and Violet. McGowan doesn't like the call. That's 3 on him.
Well, I'll tell you what, this has been a difficult game to officiate because it's been so physical, and anytime you're playing for a championship, you're going to have an awful lot of close calls, but Paul Westphal and Mark Few both are going to have an awful lot of things to look at on this tape.
Violet has not missed a shot tonight. He's 6 of 6.
He's just been a man. Guys have been bouncing off him like he's made out of steel in this game. This kid is getting better and better.
Cedric Suet back in. The lead is 10. Violet's got one more. Just a sophomore out of Boise, Idaho. Played at Bishop Kelly High School. Lead back up to 11. McGowan being shadowed now by Turioff.
Look how active Turioff is defensively.
McGowan looked like he got fouled, and he'll shoot 2.
Just a little too aggressive going after that shot. You just got to go straight up and down. He caught him on the wrist.
And Turioff knows he's got 5. He ran out of the game after that one. So that's it for Ronnie Turioff. Freshman from Martinique. Better days ahead for Ronnie. Ronnie checks out with 1 point.
Turioff speaks 5 different languages, but foul is understandable in all of them.
McGowan, free throw, no good.
That young man's going to be a terrific player. He has got bounce to his game. He's athletic. He is long. He goes after the ball, and he plays with spirit.
And McGowan missed 2. Lewis nearly had the rebound, and now Gonzaga with 6.5 minutes to play with an 11-point advantage.
And this is where Gonzaga needs to run something. Running some dribble handoffs out front. They need to take their time and get something good and make Pepperdine guard.
Dickow, hanging jumper. Gord got it. Gord in there. Zach Gord with his 10th point. And they'll go to the line.
I think you're getting a feel for just how strong the front line of this Gonzaga team is. With Corey Violette and Zach Gord underneath, they can really clear out space. And when they do, they've got the hands and the ability to finish underneath. They are strong and they are skilled.
You know, talking about Gonzaga, how high a seed do you think, assuming they win tonight, they run the table, win the West Coast Conference, how high a seed could Gonzaga get now?
I think they can get a 3.
Could get a 3.
But right now, their RPI, according to collegerpi.com, is a 29. And I don't think that's representative. I think the RPI is flawed, and it is seriously flawed, because it doesn't take into account the difference between a road win and a home win.
Pepperdine's RPI, if you're wondering, is 55, but they have some solid wins.
And 55 isn't fair. I mean, that's if you think Pepperdine's the 55th best team in the country, you're nuts.
Glenn McGowan putting on a show. That's a 3-ball. McGowan's got 22. And that is a new career high for Glenn McGowan.
Well, he had 17 points, 9 rebounds the first time these two teams played in January.
Violette, no. Brazel. Still a chance for the Waves. They can cut it right here. They're down by 11 with 5.5 to play.
Great pass.
McGowan got it. And Glenn McGowan on fire here.
And Jimmy Miggins has just gotten a foul. I don't know whether Dave Libby's going to call it flagrant.
They got a technical
foul.
Oh, man, that hurts.
A lot of frustration out on the floor, and just let it go. Looked like he elbowed Blake Stepp underneath.
Miggins has been doing a little elbow clearing in this game.
Well, he just did it on a rebound,
yep.
And that is fine. I have no problem with that. But what he's saying to the officials, he's being held. And you can see after this on the far side that he was being held by Blake Stepp, and he just pushed him off.
I don't know. That's not much of a foul in my opinion. They're tangled up there.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that you should have called it, but in real time, those are difficult to see. But I'll tell you, I mean, these officials do a terrific job. These are tough games to officiate, but there's an awful lot to complain about in this ballgame.
Dickow at the line, 9 of 10. He's got 20 now, 21 points for Dan Dickow. Right over his average of 20. And it'll be Gonzaga ball. So Gonzaga with Stepp and Dickow, Violette, Reason, and Gord. The normal starting lineup, 82-71. Gonzaga.
Still the matchup zone for Pepperdine.
Gord wide open. And that's a jump ball.
Gonzaga will keep it on the alternating possession. And Gonzaga just getting the ball inside at will. Pepperdine is getting caught behind, and the Zags, their first look is inside.
NBA tonight coming up next, immediately following West Coast Conference basketball. Hope you're enjoying it. Chris Marlowe and Jay Billis, the two best teams in the West Coast Conference. Two teams that have had outstanding years. Gonzaga at 23-3, Pepperdine at 18-6.
And those 6 losses have been quality losses, the majority of them. Pepperdine's lost to Arizona, Oregon, Georgia. And those are quality teams.
Yeah, Utah. UC Irvine having a good year.
They're having a great. Jerry Green, one of the best guards in America, another fine senior.
Miggins. And Miggins steps out. And once again, the Waves have cut it to 9. It's about as close as they've been able to come here in the second half. 82-73.
Gonzaga calling out a set.
Waves need a stop. Reason for 3. In and out, and Kimball rebound.
And that's the guy you want shooting it.
Pepperdine. Craig Lewis, long 3-ball. Miggins hustles it down.
Hey, Pepperdine doesn't mind seeing Reason put up 3s.
Yeah, and even the Waves, you want Lewis to shoot the 3. Miggins, and Miggins is warmed up. At a very slow first half, 82-75. Lead cut to 7.
Mark Pugh wants to talk it over. His team's lost a little bit of aggressiveness offensively.
So Gonzaga calls timeout.
But how about Pepperdine battling in this game? I mean, we're not just looking at two of the best teams in the West Coast Conference. We're looking at two of the best teams on the West Coast, period.
Tonight, our heart goes out to one of the faithful Gonzaga supporters. His name is Father Tony Lehman. He normally sits at the end of the Gonzaga bench. 73 years old, diagnosed with leukemia. He's been bedridden since Christmas. 20-year association with the Gonzaga team. Tremendous figure here in the community. The empty chair is in his honor. We know he's watching tonight. Hasn't been feeling well.
A wonderful man, always saying to the team on the bench, patience and basics.
We wish him the best in his recovery, Father Tony Lehman. So Gonzaga with a 25-game home win streak on the line. Pepperdine with the longest win streak in the country at 13. That also on the line. Pepperdine needs a stop to have a legitimate chance. They're down by 7. 4 minutes to play. Hernandez. Dickow pumps. Three-pointer. Hustling up the rebound was Craig Lewis. Waves need a bucket. Miggins has been hot. Lewis has been cold. Lewis pulls the trigger. And Violet rebound. Boy, Pepperdine just can't get the key basket. Turnover. Gonzaga. Brazel for 3. And Violet another rebound. Give me the rebounding on Violet. He's got 8 now.
Not sure Brazel's shot was the one that Paul Westphal wanted in that situation. That was one to pull it out. It was an opportunistic 3, but
Dickow. Both teams have gone cold. Ford punches it out of bounds. And Pepperdine will have it. Timeout on the floor. 3:13 to go. Bulldogs 82, Waves 75.
We weren't technically a garage band since we practiced in a barn. 3 years, 7 drummers, 1 groupie. And we never get tired of talking about the whole thing.
Introducing AT&T Unlimited. $19.95 a month for unlimited long-distance calls to any of AT&T's 50 million residential long-distance customers. Make all the calls you want, whenever you want. Plus, it's just 7 cents a minute to anyone else.
We still call each other all the time, but we have one rule. No singing.
Call 1-800-REACH-OUT to enroll.
In and out. Good. Keep the victim calm. 1 and 2 and 3.
Okay, there you go. It's over 130 channels, sports, news, entertainment, even your local channels, and it's only $39.99 a month.
Just $39.99 a month. Over 130 channels of DirecTV programming, even your local ones. Now get a DirecTV system for $49 or less, installed.
So it was the digital music that... Yeah.
First reconfigurable luxury SUT. Cadillac Escalade EXT. Breakthrough.
Now, put your guys back with you in the studio. Boise State just 3-11 in the WAC coming into tonight against Fresno State. C.J. Williams squish. Boise State beats Fresno State by 3.
What an upset for Boise State. Fresno State Bulldogs going down. The team that Gonzaga had beaten earlier in the year when Fresno State was ranked 16th.
Well, Gonzaga beat them when Fresno State was riding high. They had everybody eligible. And that was a terrific win. That was the game where Corey Violet got 20 rebounds.
82-75. Bulldogs trying to hang on here as the Waves have outscored the Zags 30-19 since it was 65-45. Pepperdine looking to hit the key three-pointer. They're down by 7. Lewis, he's the shooter. Oh, and he's off the mark. Pulled up, got a little tight on that one.
Well, Gonzaga in a matchup zone, and they have been very active in it. They're extending out to shooters. That's one you might want to take all the way. That was a difficult shot.
Well, Lewis wants to shoot the 3, but they're not letting him take an uncontested one.
Well, even with 2.5 minutes to go, there is still a lot of time in this game. Boy, what a smart play by Dan Dickow. The shot fake that got Miggins off his feet, able to draw the foul.
Third foul on Miggins. Once again, NBA Tonight coming up next. All the scores and highlights and the good dialogue that those guys have.
Did a terrific job on that show. Jason Jackson and Fred Carter, David Aldridge. You guys know their stuff.
Does Fred Carter still like to be called the Mad Dog or not anymore?
I think he does.
Okay.
He looks pretty good with the new dude.
He really does. Yeah. He's got an improved look. Dan Dickow, the Mad Dog in the house. 23 points for Dan Dickow. And Gonzaga's lead back up to 9.
Little pick and pop by McGowan up top, and he is having some kind of night.
McGowan.
He's the guy you got to start going to now. I mean, he's the hot hand.
He's got 26. A new career high. Previous, it was 19, 84-77.
Pepperdine still in their matchup zone, and Gonzaga going to take all the time they can. And call is set with about 14 seconds to go in the clock.
When do you come out and play man if you're Pepperdine?
Well,
Next possession?
You arguably should do it already.
Okay.
But they're not in a panic situation where they've got to go out and foul.
4 on the clock, Step pulls the trigger. Pepperdine can't clear.
Well, that's what kills you. I mean, if you're going to wait, you got to get possession when it's free.
Dickow for 3. Got it. Give the assist to Step. Dickow with 26. That might do it. Bulldogs by 10. Montgomery. And Montgomery will shoot 2. Our AT&T long-distance player of the game is Dan Dickow. 4 for 9, 3-point, 26 points, 7 assists, 12 of 13 from the free throw line.
Just great patience by this Gonzaga team. Dickow with the drive and kick, and then he spots up from 3. And instead of pulling the trigger on what would have been a pretty good shot, Blake Step showed, I thought, a lot of patience and waited for Dickow to clear and get to the 3-point line for an even better shot.
Montgomery has battled Dickow all night long. Now Lewis is going out. Colbert is coming in. Colbert, more of the defender.
You got to have a lot of respect for this Pepperdine team. They came in here. They did not shoot the ball very well. They certainly didn't play their best in the first half yet. This is still a game coming down to the last couple minutes that was still within reach.
McGowan trying to call timeout. Couldn't do it. McGowan as good as advertised.
They probably need to start thinking about fouling. And I think first and foremost, you probably want to foul Corey Violette if you can.
Or Zach Gord. Zach Gord is just 56%, but they won't let him touch it. Dickow, 88%. They got it bottled up. And Dickow and Few saying, look, that's a foul.
No, there was some words exchanged. This is where everybody needs to dial it down a notch.
You know,
I mean, don't talk, just play. There's way too much of this in college basketball. Everybody wants to talk, and it's time to play. You want to talk, join the debate team. You want to play, play ball.
Judgment week, though, you have to have some dialogue.
I just made my judgment. Quit talking, start playing.
We're under a minute. 8th-ranked Gonzaga looking for its 26th straight home win, and Pepperdine's 13-game win streak, the longest in the nation, looks like it's coming to an end. Pepperdine has San Diego and Santa Clara, and then off to the West Coast Conference tournament.
And that tournament's going to be a bear.
Gonzaga, their last 2 on the road at San Francisco, at St. Mary's. If both teams tie, if they tie with identical records, they will have beaten the same exact teams And what will happen, they will coin flip.
Yeah, just a coin flip at the conference office.
And that will determine who the numbers 1 and 2 seeds will be in the West Coast Conference standings. So Pepperdine's unblemished record in the West Coast Conference, 58 and 8/10 seconds away from being history. Both teams with 230s. Pepperdine in the 2-shot bonus. And Gonzaga will put the ball in the hands of Dan Dickow. Got a leg step.
And you got to make either one of those guards give it up and then foul. So it looks like that's an intentional foul by McGowan.
And McGowan just pushing Gord.
Well, the intentional foul call is always kind of an interesting thing at the end. I mean, the officials know they're fouling on purpose.
Yep. But that one was away from the ball, so you have to call that one.
So you're not making a play on the ball.
Right.
But, you know, there's no law that says you can't foul away from the ball. It happens all the time when guys are coming off screens. And
so Zach Gord, the one weak point of his game is his free throw shooting.
But when there's an intentional foul, there are 2 shots and the ball. So Gonzaga will not lose possession. Just 2 free shots at it.
Step with 14. Hernandez 14. Dickow 26. Reason with 7. Gord with 11 and 12 rebounds. Violette with 16. How about that balance?
This is just these are just 2 really good basketball teams. And we will be seeing both of them in the NCAA tournament. Numbers don't tell the story with these teams, in my opinion.
Well, they certainly get penalized when they play in conference, when they play some weaker teams in conference. But what can you do?
Well,
you have to play. You have to play those teams. They're in your conference.
Yeah, but that just assumes that the RPI is weighted so heavily with the selection committee. I don't think it is. I think they use it as a tool, but there's a lot more information that the selection committee uses to make their at-large selections. They don't just rely on the RPI numbers, but they are a very good indicator.
NBA Tonight crew standing by. We'll get to them as soon as this game ends.
I'll tell you what, when we talk about the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee and the job that they have to do this year, this is the hardest year, I think, to differentiate between teams, whether on the mid-major level or in major conferences, that I can remember. And that tends to be said every year, that, boy, this is a tough year. But this, more than any other that I can remember in the last 10 years or so, is the most difficult year to differentiate between teams.
Well, a classic example is the Pac-10. The top 6 teams, they all could finish first. They all could finish 6th.
Right.
There's a lot of positioning going on. Steph gets the inbounds, and that should do it. So the Gonzaga Bulldogs came out motivated tonight. They lead at 89-78. And Dickow has the steal. And they'll foul Dan Dickow. Dickow, is he more like John Stockton, or is he more like Steve Nash as a player?
I'd say more like Nash.
Okay.
That's a good call.
He's a better shooter than Stockton,
yeah, he's
for sure.
And more of a scorer than Stockton was in college. Stockton more of a playmaker. I mean, and John Stockton, it's hard to compare now to John Stockton in college. I mean, he played back in the relative dark ages in the early to mid-'80s.
In the short pants era.
Yeah, that's right, back when I played. But, you know, Dan Dickow is going to play at the next level. There's no question in my mind. And he's got everything that you want in a point guard. He can handle, he can pass, he's a terrific shooter.
Size an issue, though?
Size will always be an issue for him. But he can make up for it with his savvy and his competitiveness. And oftentimes your ability to survive in the NBA is determined by how and who you can guard. And I think Dickow has the ability to guard on that level.
McGowan, 26 points. Miggins goes out with 17. The 2 scores for Pepperdine.
What amazes you about Dickow is his consistency, and it's high-level consistency.
Yep. 26 points for Dan Dickow. And 7 assists. Montgomery. Gonzaga Bulldogs record going to go to 24-3. They'll be tied for the first place in the West Coast Conference. The nation's third longest home win streak continues at 26 in a row. And the Gonzaga Bulldogs are going to end the nation's longest winning streak, 13 games, as they beat Pepperdine 91-78.
I'll tell you, Chris, you have just had a very nice preview for your office pool. Pepperdine and Gonzaga will both be in the NCAA tournament.
West Coast Conference tournament coming up early March in San Diego. We may see these two teams one more time. Once again, the final score from the Kennel in Spokane, Washington. Gonzaga beats Pepperdine 91-78. Stay tuned. NBA Tonight is coming up next. For Jay Billis, our entire ESPN crew, I'm Chris Marlowe. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.
Housley does not jump into the play as a defenseman. Right there. There he is. That play would never have developed. That's how you have to find offense against a team that's been really stingy defensively. Team USA's had a fabulous 10 minutes here and finally scored.
The 6th all-time leading goal scorer in National Hockey League history. Brett Hull has tied this game at 15:30. Hang on, 2-2.
On vacation, a vacation to me is windsurfing, or it's diving, or whatever. But and with the cruise ship, you get it all. We had the great meals. You unpack once. You don't have the hassles of a typical vacation, going here, going there. You know, you might stay at one hotel, but have to drive to a restaurant for dinner, or whatever. It's like an all-inclusive resort that goes to different places.
Absolutely. Best value around.
Yeah.
Carnival really does an awesome job.
The electric night gets even more juiced here as Team USA has tied this game up. Brett Hull getting the goal that tied it. Housley and Madonna picked up the assist. It is the only even-strength goal we've had scored in this game. Here's Adam Deadmarsh. Deadmarsh sends it over. Shot just ripped wide by Young.
Yeah, the puck was rolling for Young. That's why it's hard to be accurate.
Here's Bure moving it the other way. Chelios on the intercept. Young, Team Russia wanting to change here. Bure back to get it.
Hey, Gary, the Russian team had a great run for a while, but the last 10 minutes, it's all Team USA. They've been marvelous. A second ago, and they're staying. Right now, Team USA is flying through the neutral zone. Young had a ripping shot, but the puck was rolling on him. And there's a character, ladies and gentlemen. Brett Hull with a gigantic tying goal. You know, he didn't celebrate too much. I did some research for a book one time, and Brett told me I don't like to celebrate because it just makes the other team mad at you. So I like to just get the goal, go about my business, and maybe they'll forget about me and I'll try and score another one.
Well, with the number of goals he's had in his career, it apparently works because he's got one of the greatest shots in the history of hockey. Samsonov at the point, got it over to Fedorov. Fedorov behind the net. Sergei Fedorov, big jam up out in front. Davidovsky drops it back to him. Fedorov down the middle. Backhand chance wide. Samsonov coming over to get it. Team USA playing the D. Turnaround shot outside of the net. Samsonov. Players down on the ice in front. Young played it. Couldn't get it. Samsonov puts it back up on the point. Team Russia changing. This is a long shift for Team USA. They got to get it out of there, and Waite does. Kachuk up ice.
That 18-year-old Kovalchuk won't back up. He went at it with Chelios. He went at it with Suter. And now a bad pass results in an icing against the Russian team. This kid's 18. He was in front giving his heart and soul with that guy who's the old-timer of the U.S. team. And then Suter went over and worked him over. My, what a battle. Kovalchuk, there he is. That's Suter with him, or pardon me, Chelios with him. Watch him get Chelios a shot. There with it. Now Suter will come over and work him over. There, now they'll turn around and go at him. That's the trench.
Right off the face-off, Javi Bulin had to knock that away. Closing in on the 2-minute mark of this third period in the game. Madonna wrister off the blocker. Gonchar tried to pump it ahead with his hand. Couldn't get it out. Madonna, as he went down, got the shot off. He had Gonchar in his back. Centering pass stolen by Yashin. Yashin turns it up ice. There is no overtime in this round. If it's a tie, it's a tie, and each team gets 1 point. Back to get it is Kasparaitis. 33-24 the shots, and we're at 2 minutes to go here in the third. Moved in? No. Kovalev got knocked down by LeClaire in the back check. Team Russia gets onside. Leach stole the puck, though. Waits on the right side here. LeClaire's in the middle. Drop pass, shot, wait, glove. No rebound.
Team USA putting the puck on net now every single time. Madonna got a shot through. Waite gets a shot through. And I think right now, and watching this last 10 minutes, Team USA has really done a nice job in the neutral zone. They've turned the puck up. Their transition game came alive. Brett Hull in front. Kasparaitis working with him. Kasparaitis, Hull with a second effort, gets the puck away. Those two guys, Kasparaitis, he'll fight anybody, won't he?
Wade off the face-off, couldn't control. We are down, closing in on a minute and a half to go. The game is tied at 2-2 as these two clubs have put on a tremendous show here. They could meet again. LeClaire in behind the net. What a battle going on against the wall. Nick collision, and he had up the near side. Leach backing up, doesn't want anybody going by him. Just played the puck back. He'll drop back into the zone. There is Leach. Leach out there with Aaron Miller. Team USA changing. Here's Tkachuk through the legs. Ouch. He got taken down, Malakoff.
And he's hurting. That's Malakoff with a big hit. Tkachuk's left leg.
Shot, Richter the save. Fell down, but the puck came up to the point. Bure. Tkachuk is just now getting off the ice. Team USA for those moments was shorthanded a skater. Chelios, the two-line pass. Up ice, onside Roenick. Roenick looking for the screen, dropped it off, just missed Young. Young and Fedorov go to the far side wall. Down on the ice goes Tony Amati. We are under a minute to go. Game tied. Sent back, Khabibul and knocked it down. Team Russia starts it up. 30 seconds left. Bure put it along the wall. Rafalski came back to get it. Behind the net, Mike Modano. No overtime. If you're going to get one, you got to get it right here. Kick back into the zone. Housley on D, tried to block it. It came in front. Rafalski got a piece of it. Sent back, intercepted. Looking at the clock, 15 seconds to go. Will be an icing call and a face-off back in the Team USA end.
In the first game Russia played, Malakoff threw a big hit on a Belarus player who had to go to the hospital with a bad back. And that was a clean hit. Here's another one on Tkachuk, and Tkachuk's having trouble with his left knee. Malakoff stands up, boom, right into him. Tkachuk went backwards and then went to get up and realized something was wrong with his left leg. Malakoff stands right up, shoulder hit. The knees collided. It's a clean hit on Keith Tkachuk, who's played great. Tkachuk looks up and then limps over to the bench. Now Gary 2-2 with 11 seconds to go. Has been a timeout called here. But this may have far-reaching effects on Team USA. Tkachuk is a great player, playing great hockey, the best condition of his life. And if that knee is at all serious, Ray Borelli, the trainer there, who trains for the St. Louis Blues, and that's where Keith plays, so they know each other very well. If this is at all serious, this is a blow for Team USA. Malakoff has hit people all night. He's hit people throughout the tournament, this being their second game. And that was a clean hit, but the knee joint gave a little.
Well, here we go. A big face-off. The fans are on their feet. Sometimes this part of the game matters so much.
Nicolishin has taken every important draw in the game. Number 33. He's got Gonchar behind him.
Mike Modano for Team USA. Nicolishin. Modano able to tie it up. Shot. Deflected. Rebound off Richter. This thing is going to end. Not now. 3 seconds left. That's where the automatic icing rule comes into play. You don't have to touch it up like you do in the NHL. So once it crossed the line at the other end, we come back for another draw.
And they're pulling the goaltender, are the Russians. Now, did Richter make a save here? Kovalchuk couldn't get the shot. The puck's loose. Kick save on Yashin by Richter to save it. 3 seconds to go. 6 attackers. Another timeout called. And this is smart. You know, Gary, empty net. If you win a draw and fire the puck down, it takes in the neighborhood of 4 seconds. 4 to 4.5 seconds to win the draw, fire the puck down, and have it go in the empty net. There's only 3 seconds left here, and we don't see the tenths of seconds on the clock. But Khabibul is on the bench. Smart coaching.
2-2 game. We invite you to stay tuned. Lots more to come for you. Jim and Bill will be along from our Hockey Central and the latest news on the Apollo Antonono controversy. Another one regarding what happened today in short track. You'll see that coming up. We've only got 3 seconds left in this game.
Keith Tkachuk stays on the bench. There's Jeremy Roenick having some words. That's with Fedorov. How about that? Probably saying great game, and it was a great game. We should thank those two teams. It's been great. 3 seconds to go. Nikolitin again. Does he push the puck forward, Gary, or does he pull it back? They've got to drop the puck here.
Think he'll try and shoot it. Nope, he went on the backhand side, tied up in the middle, one chance off the heel, and this thing ends in a 2-2 tie.
Brett Hull taps Fedorov and says, great game. The fans stand and cheer. This was a great game.
JD, maybe they will meet again. They could.
Hopefully.
They could.
Hopefully.
Team USA still has that streak going with only one loss, an Olympic game played on home ice. Hull got the goal at 15:30 from Housley Amadado that ended up tying this game up. Coming up, we'll join Jim and Bill and get the latest news, as we said, on what's going on with Apollo. There's your final 2-2.
Can't shut it down.
Override it.
Not responding.
Suki, もう寝る時間よ。
How secure is your business? EDS. Security solved.
Introducing the agile all-wheel drive Saturn Vue. At home in almost any environment.
The crackling thrill of sensational hockey still heavy in the air around the East Center. Darren Pang stands by with the man who tied the game, Brett Hull.
Thank you, Brett. That was quite a shot you had. I know you fanned on the first one, but you got pretty good wood on the second one.
Well, it was a great play by Phil Housley coming down and joining the play, and he saw me in the slot. But late in the period, the ice is a little rough, and it got in the air, and I kind of whiffed on the first one, but it sat there, and it was good for the second one, and I'm just glad it went in.
All the expectations of playing the Russians right here on home ice, did it live up to it?
It really did. You know, a late game, real different for us, different ice, and you know, they're so skilled. You have to be wary of them. They're so great with the puck and great skaters. Maybe gave them a little too much room, a little too much respect, but to come out with a tie after being down late is a good point.
You're putting a lot of emphasis on these early games.
Well, you know, it's you know, if you can come in the first seed, and that fourth game is against the fourth seed on the other side, so you want to play the easiest opponent you can.
Terrific, Brett. Great tying goal, buddy.
Thank you.
Okay.
What a comeback throughout the second period and well into the third. The Russians stormed Mike Richter and peppered him with shots, but then the United States regained the momentum down the stretch. Bill.
I think it's fair to say that Team USA stormed Nikolai Hobby-Bulin in the third period too, Jim, because they had all kinds of chances. We want to take a look at that Brett Hull goal from our Total View technology to show you how difficult Brett Hull is to cover. He has this ability to disappear on the ice and confuse defenses. When the play comes into the zone, there is Brett Hull, dead center in your screen, and here comes the play across. And everybody's covered, but Brett Hull goes against the grain. Look at this. All three defensemen for Russia are looking to the left. Well, guess what? Brett Hull is headed east. And to relocate Brett Hull at times is very difficult. Watch Brett Hull here. He stops right here because Gonchar is looking to the left. And Brett Hull just continues to wait. Watch Gonchar on the play. Spins right around, does a complete 360. Finally, Brett Hull got the puck not once. Gonchar has his back to him. And Brett Hall was able to pick up the rebound here and score. But Brett Hall, besides his ability to shoot, the most underrated thing about Brett Hall is his ability to kind of disappear on the ice when you're trying to cover him and then reappear at the right spot at the right time, as he did on that play.
The tie is a poetic ending to a fiercely played game. Will they meet again in the medal round? Who would want to bet against it? And when we come back, we're going to take you to Pat O'Brien for a look back at Apollo Anton Ohno's race. He becomes the Bodie Miller of short track speed skating, and also the music of Brooks and Dunn. Stay with us here on NBC. We'll be going to Pat when we come back.
MTV2 in 2002. Fresh faces. Check out the new batch of VJs to kick off the new year. New places. On the second day of every month, we're bringing a $2 concert to an intimate venue somewhere near you. From bands like The Strokes, Dilated Peoples, Green Day, The Foo Fighters, and Jimmy Eat World, and another...
Same thing with Greg Anthony, but with his left hand. Both those guys have ice on them temporarily, but they are eligible to come back should need be. Oh, they're both left hands. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So two jammed hands. That's the technical term that I'm told, and they're both eligible to come back. So that's it, guys.
Okay. I think Thanksgiving we had a jammed ham. Oh, hand. Close. Big base bandages. You don't like to see those.
Houston goes inside. Thomas gets it out. Jackson thought about the three, didn't take it. Around the screen. Kicks it out. Sprewell starts to drive. Oh, good look away. Put it up, wouldn't go. Rebound, Harrington clears everybody out and puts it in.
He's got two of those now, Harrington.
Hoiberg ended up out of bounds. Castle on top for Guyton. Dalibar gets up off the bench. Rose one-on-one with Sprewell. Oh, goes right by him. Yeah! Right by Latrell Sprewell.
Well, he started out with 4 in the first quarter. He had 8 at halftime, and now he's got 19.
Houston goes to Jackson. Left side Sprewell. Kurt Thomas over to set the screen. Back to Houston. He'll put up a three, and it has been raining three-pointers for the Knicks. 7 of 14 for them from long range. Bulls just 2 of 11. Rose gets it back. Here's a guy who can hit a three. Got it.
Yeah, his first basket of the night, and a good little kick out. See, they had to go over and double team Rose because he's beating Sprewell.
Knicks, last 10 games, 42% for long range on the year 36, so they are up considerably. And in fact, in the last 5 games, as Sprewell goes to the basket and lays it in, they're up to almost 45% from long range. Well, they have really been shooting the ball well from downtown. Guyton looking for Jalen, who's posted up again. Sprewell reached in and grabbed him and picks up the foul. Dalibar comes in. Eddie Curry leaves. Listen to Curry's line. 5 of 8 from the field, 4 of 8 from the free throw line. He'd like that to be better. 14 points and 9 rebounds for Eddie Curry, and now we got a timeout Knicks. Timeout New York, a full 3:08 left here in the third. 73-67, the Knicks with the lead over the Bulls.
Chicago Bulls basketball is brought to you in part by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
It's the start of another year, and Chevy wants to make it one to remember. That's why we're kicking it into overdrive with $2,002 cash back on every new 2001 and 2002 Chevy car, truck, and SUV. That's $2,002 when you lease or purchase any new Chevrolet. It's a new year, and a new Chevy could make all the difference. So see your local Chevy dealer today.
Get ready for the most groundbreaking, earth-shattering, bone-chilling event to hit the Earth in 16,000 years.
You're an embarrassment to nature. Do you know that?
They may be afraid of mankind, but it's up to them to save it. Ice Age.
Hey, guys, check this out.
Doing it for attention. Just ignore him.
Rated PG. March 15th, only in theaters.
ITT Tech was a very personal experience.
They had a plan for him, and he followed through with it.
The 2 years at ITT Tech made Mark a better person.
I have more than a job. I have a career.
ITT Technical Institute. Education for the future. To find out more, call 1-800-ITT-TECH or visit us on the web. Take advantage of our programs in information technology, a more flexible schedule to reach your goals. Call 1-800-ITT-TECH today.
Introducing the best damn sports show period with hosts Chris Rose, Tom Arnold, and a bunch of ex-jocks. It's the only show that gives you sports comedy, commentary, scores, and highlights. The best damn sports show period. Right here after the game on Fox Sports Net.
Jalen Rose will go to the free throw line. hits the first. Coming up Friday, March 1st, Bulls take on the Wizards. It's Miller Genuine Draft Money Clip night. Now, while supplies last, all adult fans age 21 and older in the United Center will receive a Bulls Money Clip. Compliments of Miller Genuine Draft. For Bulls tickets, call 1-800-4NBA-TICKS or visit the Bulls online at bulls.com. 4-point game, 73-69. Bulls again in the zone. This is a 3-2 zone now. Not a 2-3, but a 3-2. Prevent against that outside shooting, and the Bulls knock it away. A.J. gets it ahead. Trent Hassel gives it back. Guyton penetrates to Hassel in the corner for three.
Hey, we got one, huh? Hey, like that.
Hassel hits from the corner. 8-point. Hassel doing a terrific job. A 1-point game. Jackson throws it across the floor. Sprewell baseline jumper. Back of the rim. Rose with a rebound. Bulls can take the lead again. Jalen can do this. He can handle the rock. Rose stops. Jumper. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what he brings, fans. Right there. And the Knicks want a timeout. Timeout, New York. A 20-second timeout. And look at these fans on their feet here at the United Center.
Jalen Rose with 15 points in this quarter. He started out very slow, Tom. He was like 1 for 8 or 1 for 9. Now 10 for 20, right at the 50% mark. And he's got a variety of shots. You see him drive here. All he needs is a little daylight. He gets that. Man backs off him. Up he goes with that shot. I have to look how guys have done their first game after a trade.
Yeah.
This is pretty good. Put Eric. We'll stick Eric on it. Bulls with the lead. Their new young leader, JR.
Listen to this crowd. They are really into this game. Jackson across the half-court stripe. Comes around the screen. Sprewell bounces it back to Jackson. These fans are really making noise.
Yeah.
Sprewell on top. Jackson penetrates. Puts the shot up. Nope. Rebound loose. Hassel's got it. Trent pushes it ahead. Gives it back. Hoiberg looking for Jalen. Rose, spin move, fakes the shot, back to Hoiberg. Good ball movement. A.J. fakes the shot. Guyton drives, bounces it. Dalibar out to Rose. Hoiberg, great look. Three. Nope.
That was a good movement of the ball.
Oh, it was terrific. I love to see that. Allen Houston tries to come up with a three at the other end and does.
Wow. He is just as pure a shooter as you'll find in the league.
He sure is. A.J. across the half-court stripe. They want Rose down in that left corner. Guyton. Dalibar comes off. Top into the corner. Rose looking inside. Hoiberg back to A.J. Fake the three. Now fadeaway jumper on the way. Side rim. No. Here come the Knicks. Jackson pushes it up. Bounces it back. Harrington drives all the way to the basket.
Boy, Dalibar did not close the door on him.
And the Knicks take a 4-point lead, and then a foul on Mark Jackson. Trent Hassel will shoot a couple.
First of the foul, Mark Jackson hit second.
Boy, that lane was wide open as Harrington came down.
Trent Hassel to the line. He shoots the penalty.
Trent's first trip to the free throw line. Takes his time. Front of the rim. Bulls fans, here's your chance to enjoy a great time out with your friends and see a sold-out Wizards game or the game of your choice for free. Now, for selected dates, just purchase a group of 25 or more tickets. You'll receive 2 free tickets to see that Wizards game or any other exciting home game you choose. Plan your group outing. Call the Bulls at 312-455-4000. Bring your group out. Have fun at the United Center like these fans here tonight are doing. Now they want Houston out of the way. They want to go down low. Jackson gets it right back on top. Houston gets it to Sprewell. He'll put up a 3. My goodness, was that unbelievable from there.
He's got 3 in his quarter.
9 of 16, 56% from the three-point stripe for the Knicks. And it's a 6-point game. Rose. Dalibar comes into the lane, wants it, gets it. Jump hook, Dowd bounces. Nope. here comes New York. They do not have to do much because the shot clock is off. They're just going to look for a shot. Houston with it. With Guyton there. He'll put up a three. Top of the circle. No. 5 seconds left. Thomas kicks it out. Mark Jackson spins. As the horn sounds, Mark Jackson lays it in. We've played 3 periods here at the United Center in Chicago. 83-75. The Knicks close with a 10-1 run. The last 2.5 minutes. 83-75 Knicks.